Today we're going to go on a little adventure around San Francisco Bay's coastline. We're going to start here in Fisherman's Wharf, make our way across the Marina District, across the Golden Gate Bridge, we'll coast down to Sausalito, and then take the ferry back. Are you all set? Let's go! We're going to be taking our trip mainly by bike today. If you don't have one, don't worry, you can rent one. The reason we're starting out here in Fisherman's Wharf is because there are so many really great bike rental outfitters around here, and I'll include links below to some of them. And also it's pretty accessible by Muni. First, make sure you bring a jacket with you. It's definitely cold down by the coast, especially when you cross the bridge and come back on the ferry. If you've got your own bike and you want a longer ride, you can also start at the ferry building. Fisherman's Wharf is the most popular tourist destination in all of San Francisco and has a ton of tourist shops and restaurants. It's also home to Boudin Bakery, which is famous for its San Francisco sourdough bread. If you have time, take a self-guided tour through their bakery, or you can take a docent-led one for $5. Free bread at the end. The other really popular attraction here are the sea lions at Pier 39, which is right next to Fisherman's Wharf. This colony back here migrated to the Quay docks here from Los Lobos Point, which is just southwest of Fisherman's Wharf, in 1990. This is probably the most upfront and personal you're going to safely get to a sea lion, if you don't mind the stink. Let's continue west. On nearby Pier 45, naval lovers can tour an honest-to-goodness submarine, the USS Pampanito, and a Liberty transport ship, the USS Jeremiah O'Brien. Right next to Fisherman's Wharf, behind me here is Aquatic Park. And behind Aquatic Park is Ghirardelli Square. This is a small protective cove with a thin sliver of beach, which is really popular with city kids, as you can tell from all the kids screaming in the background behind me here. Within Aquatic Park is Hyde Street Pier, which has this really interesting exhibit of old-time ships. For an admission fee of $10, you can have access to the Maritime Museum, as well as get to go on board any of the old-time ships. And incidentally, the Balaclutha, which is their tall ship, offers overnight field trips where the kids can go live on board and pretend like they're the crew on the Balaclutha, swabbing decks, cooking, and climbing up onto the crow's nest for lookout. We're now passing Fort Mason, which was built around the Civil War era and was used as an army outpost until the National Park Service took it over in the 1970s. Parts of it are still used as housing, but the lower fort is now being used as an arts and cultural center with performing arts and galleries. If you're interested in art, you should definitely check their calendar to see what shows might be in the area while you're here. We're now passing the Marina Green, namesake for the Marina District, also affectionately known as the yuppie part of San Francisco. The Marina Green is an awesome area for recreation, whether you're doing ultimate frisbee, jogging, biking, or just picnicking. Down here on the western end is Christie Fields Beach. It's a little too cold for swimming, but usually on the weekends you'll find plenty of people here sunning themselves and flying kites. This juncture here is a little tricky to navigate, so make sure you're hanging to your left and you're going to come up this really steep ass climb, and make sure you're not going down this road here, which leads to the warming hut and takes you under the Golden Gate Bridge. Whew, okay, you could do a quick pit stop here at the Welcome Center if you'd like. They've got all sorts of really great exhibits on the construction of the Golden Gate. There's a little souvenir shop and restaurants, and best of all, toilets, so you can stop and take a restroom break. Pedestrians can only use the east sidewalk. Bikes share this side and move to the west sidewalk starting at 3:30 on weekdays and 6:30 on weekends and holidays. West side is better with no slow-moving people in the way. The wind is strong and you feel like you're being blown over. It was a nervous 10 minutes for me. The bridge should pop you right out onto Vista Point, and if you look behind you, check out this phenomenal view of the city. From here, it's just a 15-minute coast down Alexander Avenue into downtown Sausalito. We're here in Sausalito. We made it. If you look around, this place is so fantastic. It reminds me of a little Mediterranean town with all the houses and buildings clinging to the hillside. If you've got a couple of hours, definitely stop here and tour the city.
Downtown can be touristy, but has some great lunch spots, including Capita by celebrity chef Joanne Weir.
I'm going off the main drag to a little restaurant called Le Garage, which was recommended to me by my friend, Captain Dave, who frequents Sausalito, so awesome, excellent local recommendation. It's in a little industrial area called Marineship, which used to be the boat shipyards for World War II. I have unfortunately arrived a little too late for lunch. Quel dommage. But they do have some light snacks here. If you have time for a quick detour after lunch, right next to the garage is a giant model of the San Francisco Bay. We're about 10 minutes down Bridgeway from Marineship. In the 60s, a lot of hippies were displaced and moved here to live on houseboats, or floating homes as the locals prefer to call them, docked here in the marina slips. Nowadays, there are about 400 floating homes, some of them with really funky personalities to them. We're down here at Liberty Docks. You can kind of walk around and check them out, but please be quiet and respectful. In September, there's a public open house tour. I believe it's about $50 per person admission, and that gets you entry in to check out the interiors of some of these houseboats. When you're done touring Sausalito, head back to the center of town to catch the ferry back to Fisherman's Wharf. If you've got the time and energy, you can continue heading down Bridgeway and go 45 minutes to Tiburon. It's essentially a smaller version of Sausalito, but the views are phenomenal when you bike over.
Tickets can be bought there or in advance online. The Blue and Gold Ferry goes to Fisherman's Wharf, and the Golden Gate Ferry back to the ferry building on Pier 1, what I'm on, which is a 5-minute bike ride back to Fisherman's Wharf on Pier 41.
Make sure you check the schedule for the last ferry out so you don't get stuck, and keep an eye on the time.
There's an outdoor area fore and aft. It's cold, but worth it for the great views.
There's even a nice little snack bar where you can get wine and beer.
Downtown from the boat.
I'm going to sit back now and enjoy my 30-minute ride back. Thanks for coming along and joining me on this epic adventure. And until next time, peace.